You've all looked at the agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Seconded. Thank you. You had a chance to review the minutes of August 19th, special council meeting, special in camera, August 28th, regular council and in camera, and September 11th, committee of the whole in camera minutes. If there is no errors or omissions, could we have a motion to accept those minutes? No. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, Mr. Chair, yes, I'll move the approval of the August 19th special council meeting, the special in camera meeting on August 19th, the August 28th regular council meeting, August 28th in camera meeting, September 11th committee of the whole meeting, and September 11th in camera minutes.
And you seconded that, Councillor? Okay, thank you. Do all in favor? Say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Just very briefly, we last weekend had a successful air show, and I'll turn this right side up. This is a plaque presented to the municipality of the District of Yarmouth from the Snowbirds. And these are, they don't give them out that often, and this because over the years we have had the Snowbirds as part of our air show. We were presented with this, and this will be framed and hung out in the foyer, I'm assuming. Was it the foyer you planned on putting that in? Yeah. So that'll be out for the public to view. And this weekend, anybody has a chance, the hockey tournament is on. If you get a chance, just stroll downtown, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of people out and about, and it's getting great weather, so hopefully that'll be another success story. Thank you. We have no presentations on the agenda, so we will move down to business horizon recommendations from committee of the whole meeting on September 11th. So anybody wants to start with those? I guess the first one is further discussion on the extension of the sidewalk. What's the wishes of council on that? We need a motion, or I guess my question is, why was it recommended to council if okay, I'll just leave it. Like, I wasn't here at the meeting, so you guys must have been a consensus to move that to council.
Thanks, Warden. As I recall, there was a request made to council to explore. This is for the sidewalks in the Dayton area. Is that
Not this one, but
okay? Or, sorry, I'm wondering now if this was the extension of the trail that we wanted to move to our capital funding discussion, and we needed a motion in council to do that. So I'd make that motion that that we move that request for that sidewalk extension to be moved to our capital planning discussions.
Thank you. Councillor?
I'll second that with the comment that also we need to talk about during the capital planning process the sidewalks also in the Hebron-Dayton area. There's lots that need to be connected up the trail. This is an example of one that's small. And those are, of course, contiguous with the existing sidewalk and are less expensive to service and service a more densely populated area. But this does have some merit for discussion. So on that basis, I will second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion that's been passed. The floor is open for any discussion. Okay, question being called. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. Next item would be the Municipal Youth Council.
Thanks, Warden. You know, this part of the province is facing a real challenge with youth out-migration, which is seeing our population actually decline, which has a pretty enormous economic ripple effect. One of the tools that we have to help address that is to engage youth, engage them in the process, engage them in their communities. So this motion is about employing a municipal youth council approach to sort of empower our young people to take on some of the challenges that we struggle with and get their input. So the plan is to set up a committee to explore that in cooperation with the town. And I'll be actually on a conference call tomorrow with the UNSM president to talk about what role the UNSM could play on laying out this kind of policy. So the motion is that we move forward and form a municipal youth council committee in collaboration with the town of Yarmouth to empower our local youth, to engage our youth.
We have a motion. Do we have a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Churchill. Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. Number 3 is possible invitation to volunteer fire department. So the floor is open for discussion on that or possible motions.
This came out of a conversation I had with Jack Lowe's, heads our volunteer fire department in Port Maitland, and he expressed some interest in coming and spending some time with council, and he implied that he felt a lot of the other VFDs would be interested in doing that as well. So I'd like to see at a minimum that we send out an invitation to our volunteer fire department chiefs to come and have a discussion with us at a committee of the whole session and see how we can support them in any additional way and get an update from them on what's happening.
Thank you, Councillor. Do we have a seconder for that? Seconded by Gerard LeBlanc. Any question being called? All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. You gotta excuse me because my computer's not coming up, so I'm trying to find this paperwork. We have a request, appointment for municipal councillors on choice committee. So we need I guess there's, to make, we need a motion to approve the appointment. So somebody prepared to do that?
I'll make the motion that we appoint Councillor Trevor Cunningham to the Community Housing Options Initiative through the Collaboration Engagement Committee.
Thank you. So, any further discussion? Hearing none. Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. I'm left-handed and I have trouble holding this in one hand with a mic on this side, so I'm going to change around a bit. Number 5, it is the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole to support an initiative by the Yarmouth County Trail Development Association along with Southwest Nova ATV Association to support a UNSM resolution to the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure Renewal requesting that towns and municipalities be given the option, if they so request, to make designated roads usable by ATVs. So, the floor is open.
Given that our conversation at Committee of the Whole, that's a really it's a really good initiative that the ATV associations have taken on, trail development people as well, because that allows rural areas to connect bits of the trails that are separated by roadways, and I think municipalities should be given the option of allowing ATVers to travel on the road or certainly along the side of the road or whatever may be the case. So on that basis, I'll support that motion and move it.
Yeah,
Your mic's ready.
thank you, Mr. Chair. I guess a question through you to the CAO. Is this an option where possibly the municipality could request that a road in the municipality be opened and or used for ATVers to go from, I'll say, the trails, from the trail to, I'll say, a picnic area or somewhere? Is that what this is asking? Or would they be, or are these roads going to be designated and they could be used 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 12 months a year, or no?
My understanding is that they're requesting that we support a motion before the UNSM, which I believe has been put forward by East Hants,
Yes.
to for the UNSM to lobby the government, provincial government, to change legislation to allow for municipal units to make that determination on whether particular routes could be used to join sections of trail. And in the case here in Yarmouth, it would be to see that the northern trail, the north of the town on this side, there is a, to allow for a route through the town. I believe they're proposing Water Street,
Yes.
to connect to the south trail, which would connect the south shore to the north shore. Because right now, unless there's a special event on and the RCMP actually provide
Escort.
approval and there's sort of an escort through there, they can't join from the valley section of the trail on the north shore here to the south shore trail. The town is in the middle,
So it's
but there are other loggerheads in the province too
okay.
where these trails aren't connected. Now, if you were to go to Newfoundland, you could put an ATV on the ferry in North Sydney. You go to Newfoundland, you can travel the whole province, and they've made provisions where you can get all around the province there. There's huge tourism potential there, I believe, for a certain sector. And so I think that's what they're looking for here, is for our support for that motion to go to the UNSM to lobby the government to change the legislation to allow municipalities to have that latitude on some particular streets to provide those connecting corridors.
Okay.
I believe that's the purpose of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion and it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried. Senior Safety Coordinator, Provincial Funding. It is the recommendation of the Committee of the Whole to approve the submission for a separate application for funding from the Nova Scotia Department of Seniors for a Senior Safety Coordinator. So,
I'll move that very thing.
thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
If I could, just to clarify that, we just initiated this program a short time ago, and when we did it, we thought there'd be benefits to cooperating and doing it jointly with the municipality of Argyle. And when we forwarded our application, it turns out that, they treated us as one application, and collectively we were servicing twice the population of similar size municipal units in the region and getting half the funding. So it's one of those times when we thought that we were doing a good thing by cooperating, we got penalized. So now we're proposing to forward our separate applications because we do now have a full-time coordinator of our own, and to try and get the appropriate amount of funding that's consistent with what they're providing to other municipal units in the province for similar size populations.
Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, motion carried. Request to renovate. It is the recommendation of the in-camera session of council to approve in principle the Friends of the Light concept of moving the location of the Mug Up Tea Room to the former gift shop building. This would be subject to final approval of any actual plans and their meeting all other regulatory requirements. So. It's been moved by Councillor Churchill. Do we have a seconder for that? Seconded by Gerard LeBlanc. Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. District Healthcare versus Regional Healthcare. It is a recommendation of the in-camera session of council to forward a letter to the Department of Health and Wellness expressing concern over the possible regionalization of district health authorities and the resultant job loss, and further that if the regionalization of health authorities is necessary, that consideration should be given to the placement in rural areas who are currently experiencing serious outmigration of workforce. So, motion by Councillor LeBlanc. Do we have a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Cunningham. Any further discussion? Question being called, all in favor say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carried. That is the end of Committee of the Whole recommendations. Next order of business is 6.1 letter from East Hants off-highway vehicle resolution. I don't have that on my file, so I'm totally in the blind on that one. My computer's not up and I don't have the hard copy, so. Somebody help me out. That was part of what the other recommendation for the trails? Okay. Thank you. Sorry. Moving on to new business, development report. You've all had a look, I'm assuming, of the development report. And but there's no errors or anything that raises red flags. We need a motion to accept that development report. Do we have a seconder? All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. 7.2 is Development Department is a request to destroy documents. Those are what, 7 years old? Yeah. Councillor, Deputy Warden.
Yeah, thanks, Warden. I had one question about, there was part of those documents that went right up to August 2013. And it sounds like a pretty fresh set of documents to be shredding, so can I get some clarification on that?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I believe that what the report indicates is those would be 7 years old as of August 2013.
Ah,
The documents are 2005.
got it. Thank you for that.
Thanks, okay. So would someone be prepared to make a motion to destroy those documents? Councillor Cunningham, do we have a seconder? Okay. Any discussion? Question being called, all in favor say aye. Contrary, nay. Motion carried, thank you, gentlemen. The third is Yarmouth Recreation, also a request to destroy 7-year-old documents.
So moved.
So moved. Seconded. Any discussion? Question being called, all in favor say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. 7.4 is, for your information, is a letter from the Women's Institute of Nova Scotia, invitation to the Women's Institute of Nova Scotia 100-year celebrations. You'll have a paperwork on that and the date and the time. So if any of you are interested, I don't think you have to reserve. I think, unless I'm wrong, just if you want to, we have it's an open invitation. So 7.5 is a notice from Councillor. I'll let him speak to it.
Yes, Mr. Chair and fellow councillors, as chair of the Yarmouth Recreation Committee, I've been asked to go to their annual conference in Sydney this year, and it happens to fall on one of the days of our council meeting at the end of October, so I'll be away because I'll be away to that conference.
Thank you. 7.6 is a request for grant funding from the Yarmouth County Agricultural Society. You have that information there, so I'll let you review that and open the floor for discussion.
Do you want me to speak to that? Yeah, this is a request by by this group, the Yarmouth County Agricultural Society, a request for approval of funding application in preparation for submitting their applications for the 2014 Yarmouth County Exhibition. So they have to get all of their applications in at this time of year, which is why this is coming at this time.
So would you need a motion to forward that to budget, basically? Or you need a motion?
We need a
to-
motion to approve
Approve it.
from grant contingency.
Okay. Councillor,
I'll move that we approve the request from grant contingency.
thank you. Do we have a seconder for that? Seconded by Councillor Churchill. Any further discussion? Question? Yes, go ahead. Deputy Warden.
Just a quick question on maybe from the more experienced counselors around the table. Is this application deviate in any significant way from previous year applications?
No, it's very similar, actually. They have to get all of their applications in to other funding agencies, the feds and the province. And as part of that application, they have to have support from local municipal units. So our contribution in this instance is $500 towards the overall budget to run that, which is
A very
In-
small percentage of
it's-
their budget.
it's in line with what we've done in the past.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Any further discussion? Question being called. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you, gentlemen. Motion carried. You have your committee reports there. And unless one of those stands out and you want a little more clarification, I'll just leave that. You have the information there. Councillor?
Yes, I just wanted to update counselors on the Friends of the Light that the closing day was on, for the Mug Up Tea Room was on September 22nd, and on September 27th is the closing day for the museum. And don't forget about Dumping Day, which is on November 25th. And also, too, on Saturday, the 28th, there's going to be an auction at the museum, and half of the proceeds from that auction are going to the Friends of the Light. So if anybody can get down there and buy something, well.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other committee members want to highlight their report? If, okay, thank you. Next is recommendations from in camera.
Thank you, Warden. On behalf of the Transportation Committee, we've undertaken a process to secure a consulting firm that would help us complete a feasibility study as to the transportation needs of our local municipality. So we've done that, and our committee would like to recommend to council that we accept and move into a commercial agreement here with, I'm just opening my file here. That's with the Transit Consulting Network. And they've submitted the RFP, and the committee would like to recommend that to council, that we accept that proposal.
Yes, we do.
Are you prepared to make that into a motion, Deputy Warden?
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
am. So do you want me to repeat it
No,
as a
as long as
motion?
we need a motion, that's all for,
Okay,
okay. So
yeah, so I move that we,
Yep. do we have a seconder for that? Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Contrary, nay. Thank you. Motion carried. Do we have other recommendations from Committee of the Whole?
Is there anything else?
That was the only one? Okay. Motion for adjournment. Thank you, gentlemen.